This is a supernatural vision sent to Saint John Bosco that's titled The Dream of the 14 Tables, and you might be wondering by the end which table you'd be sitting at.
The Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Matthew Miller. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
On Sunday, the Solemnity of Our Lady of the Snows, a first Mass was celebrated and sung by Father Rua, who was assisted by Don Bosco. All received communion, knowing this to be the desire of the new priest. The joy of all present can't be imagined. A fervent enthusiasm animated all the pupils who couldn't find enough ways to show their affection to Father Rua. 27 compositions were read in the Academy, and a recurring theme of the compositions was stated by Cleric Francis Fischetti. You are a model for priests, the example of clerics, the teacher in virtue and science, of students, the counselor, of artists, the guide, of the sick, you're the relief, of the afflicted, you're the comfort, of all, you're the cheerfulness. You are loved and admired by all. In your heart, you're another Don Bosco, and already everyone is noting you to be his worthy successor. The whole day was spent in continuous acclaim, "Long live Father Rua," who strove to redirect these praises to Saint John Bosco. It was a vivid image of the triumph of charity. Father Rua, in the closed talk with the Academy, called the young men his brothers. He thanked them, asked for prayers and forgiveness if he had sometimes had to reproach someone. He promised them limitless affection, and he ended by praising Don Bosco, who he said was his and their dear father. Don Bosco closed the feast by telling them the following dream in the evening. There were all my young men in a beautiful garden. From the ground, steps rose so high that one could hardly see the top. There were 14 long tables arranged in a vast amphitheater and as if divided into 3 tiers, each supported by a wall that formed a shelf. At the bottom, around a table set on the bare ground, devoid of all ornaments and pottery, could be seen a number of young men. They were sad and had in front of them bread. However, it was all rancid and moldy. It was disgusting. The bread on the table was amidst filth and acorns. These poor boys stood like swine at the trough. I wanted to tell them that they should throw away that bread. However, I contented myself with asking why they had such nauseating food before them. They answered, "We must eat the bread we have prepared for ourselves, and it's all we have." This table symbolized the state of mortal sin. As it states in Proverbs chapter 1, they hated discipline and did not embrace the fear of the Lord, and they did not lend their ears to my counsel and mocked my corrections. They shall therefore eat the fruits of their works and hail themselves of their counsels. But at the higher tables, the young men were more cheerful and ate precious bread. They were beautiful, resplendent, and of ever-increasing beauty and splendor. Their very rich tables were covered with tablecloths of special linen, set with candelabras, wine, cups, vases of indescribably beautiful flowers, plates with delicious food, and treasures of inestimable value. A large number of boys were there. These tables symbolized the state of repentant sinners. Finally, the last buffets at the top had bread that I can't define. It looked yellow, it looked red, and the same color of the bread was that of the clothing and the faces of the young men, all of which shone with the brightest light. These boys enjoyed an extraordinary cheerfulness, and each one tried to share it with the other companions. In their loveliness, light, and splendor, they far surpassed all those who occupied the lower tables. These tables symbolized the state of those who had retained their baptismal innocence. Of the innocent and the converted, the Holy Spirit says in Proverbs chapter 1, "He who obeys me will have rest without fear, and will be in abundance free from the fear of evil." But most astonishing was that I knew those young men. I recognized all of them from first to last, so that seeing one of them now, I seemed to see him still there, seated in his place at that table. While I was amazed at that spectacle, I saw a man somewhat far away. I ran to question him, but in the meantime, I stumbled over something and woke up, finding myself in bed. You had asked me about this dream, and now I've told you. However, don't make more of it than such a thing might deserve. The next day, Don Bosco privately told each pupil what place he occupied at those tables. To manifest the order that each held, he began from highest to lowest. He was asked if one from a lower table could go up to a higher one. He answered yes, except going to the one that towered above all the others was impossible. It was the place intended only for those who retained their baptismal innocence. The number of these were small, but great was that of the second order and the third. Don Rufino Domenico and Don Turchi Giovanni, witnesses who heard and were present, left us the narration of this dream and even the name of someone who was seated at the primary table. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you'd like to see another video about how St. John Bosco was attacked by villagers with pitchforks, just click on the link I've put on the screen. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you.